All right, so this is a bit about us before we start with today's class. So this is a free class offered by CECA along with all our other provisions. So we offer all kinds of Australian migration aids, then student visa. To all of these are few of our services, and they also help with admissions and change of course if you're a client, and also help you with all these things. So you're attending the free classes that we offer every day from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. So if your friends or you are interested in taking PTE or IELTS classes, please feel free to attend them or to refer these classes to us. So without wasting any more time, let's start off with reading. So today I've prepared a test for us to start with reading. Let me pull it up. Bear with me while I'm getting stuck again. Okay, finally. Let me share my screen with you. Okay, and I hope you guys can see my screen. View it as multiple pages and okay. Can you see my screen clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just turn it back. Okay, all right. So the first question type is matching information. So you're matching the pictures to the appropriate sections in the instruction. So if you look at this is section 1 of your reading. The reading passages has descriptions given here based on the number of, the type of iron or the description for each of these ways of ironing or utilizations of this iron. So you'll have to skim through this passage and try and match these information to this text. So first thing here, you have to also look at your picture properly. So just to get an idea, take a look at your pictures first. And then try and understand. There are 4 questions, so each of it carries 1 point each. So you have to match the pictures to the appropriate section. Take a look at your pictures first, try and understand, and then skim through the passage, trying to get a gist of it. So if you look at the first section, section A, it's telling filling the reservoir. So they're asking us how to function. Your iron is designed to function using tap water. So they're asking us to use distilled water just for it to function. Always unplug the iron and always empty the reservoir. Is there anything where you fill the reservoir? There's no place where there's filling or pouring involved here. So there's nothing over here. If you look at passage B, so if you look at it, our answers has to be in the form of alphabets A to F. If you look at the next one, temperature and steam control, it has 2 buttons. Then adjust the temperature, turn the steam control to the desired intensity, turn the thermostat control to the desired intensity. If your iron produces droplets of water instead of giving off steam, your temperature control is set to low. Is there anything similar where you can see 2 buttons? Okay, you saw 2 buttons. Then you can adjust it based on the amount of steam. So could be number 1 is B, but we're not too sure yet. If you look at the next one, C, spray button. It activates a jet of cold water, which allows you to iron out any unintentional creases. Press the button for 1 second. So jet of cold water, does it look like cold water? This looks like cold water maybe, which gives you, okay, then press this activates the super short of steam. So read the description and try to match it. Your answers has to be from A to F. So what I'll do is I'll time you guys for 5 or 6 minutes. Try and solve as much as you can, and then we'll discuss it together. Is there any doubts regarding it? So look at the picture first, then skim through this passage quickly in less than a minute. Then read each of your passage or your paragraph and try and find out which could be the right answer. I'm timing you for 5 minutes. If you get stuck, let me know, please. Are you okay? Are you ready to do that?
Ready.
Okay, all right. So your time starts now. Hi Chirag, my name is Ruth. I'm your IELTS trainer for today. So we're just attempting this reading question. I've timed everyone for 5 minutes. Try and solve these questions and then we'll discuss it together. Hi Chirag, my name is Ruth. I'm your IELTS trainer for today. So we just started off with reading questions. I've timed the other students for 5 minutes. They're attempting to solve this. Even if you're new, try and solve these questions and we'll discuss the strategy and everything after 5 minutes, okay? Guys, if you're done, start posting your answers in the comment. You have about 50 seconds left. I think you guys have already posted in the comment. Yeah, Jitin has done it, Rajesh too. What about Deepthi? Deepthi, are you there? We have about 30 seconds left, and after which we can discuss it. Okay, your time's up, and let's discuss this answer. So Rajesh says the first one is B, and Jitin says the first one is D. So the first one, it shows, I think that's steam. So that is D. Even I think it's D, but we should solve it. So the second one is a jet of water. I think that is C or F. So Jitin says the second one is, no, the second one is sink. See, can you see a sink? There is only one place where they're telling about a sink. So both of you have talked about F. I think it's F as well, because that's the only place where they're talking about a sink. Then for the third one, both of you say it is C. I think it's C2. Fourth one, it is E, because it's talking about vertical. And only one place we see that it is vertical. So let's look at the answer. This is your answer for passage 1. So the D, A, C, I'm sorry, is this correct? So let's look at the explanation. D, A, and C, E. D, A because filling the tap water, and then C, which was correct for all of us. And the next one was not F, it was E, which is talking about vertical position. So the first answer is D, which is A, the second one, and then C, and then E. Did all of you get it correct? Let's look at the answer. D, F. Okay, you got one wrong, Jitin, and C, E. I think you've got two wrongs, Rajesh. All right, any doubts with this? The first one is D because it is talking about steam. So steam is activated. And the next one is A. So they're telling to fill in water, whereas I thought this was emptying water. That's the reason why I chose F. The third one was C, which is streaming a jet of water. And the fourth one is E, because it's talking about vertical positions. If you guys have any doubts, feel free to ask now.
For paragraph A, can you please scroll on?
Yeah.
It is saying always unplug the iron before filling the reservoir and always empty the reservoir after
After
use.
use. Oh, yeah.
So probably is emptying the reservoir.
Reservoir after use. Yeah. So it is A. Yes, it's correct.
But then what is wrong with F?
Uh, for 2, you chose F. The reason why I chose F was because it was mentioned sink over here. Holding it over the sink, unplug the iron and holding it over the sink, turn the steam control to auto clean. Any calcium deposits will be washed out by steam. So it doesn't look like steam, maybe it's water. So it's washed out by steam and not water. Maybe that's the reason.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so let's do from question number 5 to 8. So this is a short answer question. So we look at the instruction carefully. Answer the 3 following questions on the Moloch's iron in no more than 3 words. So the maximum number of words that you can write here is 3. Can you guys take a picture of this from 5 to 8? Please take a screen grab of this. Let me know once you're done. I hope you've taken a picture of this.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so first we read through the instruction. What sort of water are you advised to use? So answer the following question on the Moloch's iron. The maximum number of words you can use is 3. So nothing more than 3 words. Write your answers in the boxes 5 to 8 on your answer sheet. So what sort of water are you advised to use? Underline your keyword sort. That means kind of water are you advised to use. So you have to first skim through this passage, read it, then try to find it from the passage. Then the next one is, so if you look at the first one, I think while skimming, we already saw that we are advised to use distilled water. So the answer could be distilled water. Then what factor make you decide on the quantity of the steam to use? Thanks, Chitin. How do you get this? Oh, okay. You took a screen grab and then you put it on for everyone. So the next question, what factor makes you decide the quantity of steam to use? Then your keyword is factor, quantity of steam to use. So you go looking for quantity. Quantity means it would be some kind of a number. So we go looking for it. And what factor and what quantity of steam to use. So it could be what factor, it could be the fabric or the type of fabric might give us an advice on what type of steam to use and all that. So go looking for the answer for that. Can you guys try and do this by yourselves? And then we'll discuss it together. So underline your keywords and go looking for it. So the maximum number of words that you can write is 3, or you can write in your answer is 3. So I'll time you off for 5 minutes. I'm sure you'll finish it before that. If you have
Can you
taken a
scroll? Can you scroll it a little bit up?
okay, like so much, you know what? Maybe is it better now?
Yes, thanks.
Okay. I stopped sharing it. Sorry. Okay, Jitin has done it. Still have about a minute, guys. Yes. 7, both of you have put antonyms. One has written increased temperature, the other has written lower the temperature.
Sorry, what was the word you used?
You have written for 7 increased temperature and Rajesh has written low temperature.
You used a word to describe that.
Antonyms.
Sorry?
Antonyms. Opposites. Antonyms.
Thanks.
Chirag has written temperature control, calcium deposit. Ira has written distilled water. So guys, your time is up. It was up about 20-30 seconds ago. So we'll just look through the answer. I'm just waiting for okay. I think Ira has put your answer again. Okay. So this is your answer. If you can see my screen. First one is distilled water or just distilled because it's asking what type of water. The second one was fabric or type of fabric, fabric type. Third is turn up or increase temperature. Wait, let me see if anyone else had a confusion with this. Temperature control. So turn up or increase temperature. So it shows that you should talk about increasing the temperature. Let's look at that answer. What should you do if your iron starts to drip water? So it shows here, right? It has 2 buttons which control the intensity of heat. So you can therefore adjust the temperature of the iron and the amount of steam given off by turning the temperature. No, over here. If it's producing droplets of water, then your temperature control is set low, set too low. So we have to increase it because it's giving out water because it's low. So to avoid that, what should you do if your iron starts to drip water? I think changing temperature or temperature control is also correct. Increasing temperature is also right. What could damage if your iron if you do not clean it? Let me look at your answers. I think you've given the right answer. Both of you have written, what could damage your iron if you do not clean it? All of you have written calcium deposit, Chirag, Rajesh, and Jitin. So yes, it's calcium deposits or furring up. All right. So welcome, Chirag. Is this your first day?
Oh, yes.
Have you taken your IELTS before?
Oh, no. Yeah, but 3 years ago, not now.
3 years ago. What is your desired score?
7778.
Okay, this is for your Canadian migration. Are you located? Where are you located?
Sydney.
In Sydney. Okay. So have you taken any kind of a coaching or anything? Do you want me to go back to strategies?
Oh, yes. I didn't take anything.
Okay, you know what I'll do? I'll pin the Word document for strategies while you're doing a speaking or just before we close, I'll pin it in the chat. So you can download it and go through your strategies because these guys already are familiar with the strategies. I think Deepthi, Jitin, and Rajesh, they're quite familiar with it. So if I redo it, I'll explain each question type as we go and how to solve it. But I'll also pin in the Word document or PPT of my reading strategy for you to go through. Will that be enough for you?
All good. Thank you.
Thanks. So, okay. You know, I don't want to waste time and dig it up. So in case I don't remember to do it, will you please remind me? So this is section 2. That was section 1 of your reading. And I'll just post this. If you want explanation for your answers, you can find it over here. So I'll just post it in the chat. If you've got any doubt, you can use this and solve it. I mean, and try and find out if you've got a doubt as to why the answer is like that. So I've just posted it in chat. You can use this and go through the explanation for it. This is section 2. So you have a reading passage, and then this is also a short answer question. So you would like to take note, this is sentence completion or answer short question. So to answer this question, we have to answer, okay, this is matching information. So we have paragraphs A to G, and we are required to match information. You would like to take Spanish classes. You wish to go to swimming 7 a.m. every morning, and then you have to go back and look as to where you, oh, just give me a minute. Sorry, guys, please give me a minute. Did we miss a section in between? So read your question statement first. If you want to sit at the front of the couch, so sit at the front of your couch and read your options. Ask when you get to the couch, arrive early on the departure date, book your seat well in advance, avoid traveling time. Now sit in front of the couch is where you're scanning this passage. So you go looking for this information. Where is this information located in this passage? Sit at the front of the couch. So seat allocation, so it would be here. Now go back to your options and read it. If you want to sit at the front of the couch, ask when you get on the couch. Requests for particular seats can be made when booking. So not ask when you get on the couch. It's wrong. Arrive early, no. Book your seat well in advance because it's telling booking seats. A request for particular seats can be made on most coach breaks when booking. Since allocations are made on a first come, first serve basis, early booking is advisable. When bookings are made with us, you'll be offered best seats that are available on the coach at that time. So it has to be done when we are booking. So this is our answer, answer C. So we write it in alphabet. Let's look at the next question, your air tickets. Air tickets is what we're looking for. So where do we find air tickets here? Seat allocation, travel documents. Okay, so we have ticket over here, air or boat ticket. We found it here. Then we skim through the options. You'll be sent to your departure point. Your air tickets will be sent to your departure point, must be collected, will be enclosed, may be held by your coach driver. Now we go look and see what our answer is. We'll send you all the necessary documents and labels so that you'll receive them in good time before the coach break. Certain documents, so we have an exception here. Certain documents may have to be retained and your driver or courier will then issue to you at the relevant point. So here point will be sent to your departure point or may be held by your coach driver. So D is our answer because it is telling that it will be retained or held by a driver or courier will then issue to us. Are you clear with this? So you read your question statement, try and understand it, skim through the options, try to locate where this information is. So first we read through this. If you need a special diet, you should. So special diet is our keyword. We skim through, we found out, okay, this has a heading and we know special diet will be located only here. Now we read the choices. Inform the hotel, play extra when booking, tell the coach company, and book tourist class. If you need a special diet, so if you require a special diet, you must inform us at the time of booking with a copy of the diet. So inform the hotel, inform us at the time of booking. This will be notified to the hotels or hotels on your coach break, but on certain coach breaks, the hotels used our tourist class, and while offering, they may not have the full facilities with special diet. Any extra costs incurred must be paid to the hotel by yourself before departure from the hotel. So you should inform the hotel, no, not when you arrive. You should, so pay extra with the booking? No, but we should tell the coach company, right? So you must inform us. That means we should tell the coach company at the time of booking. Are you guys able to understand me?
Yes.
All of you? Rajesh?
Yes.
Ira? Ira, are you able to understand me?
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay, if you look at the next one, entertainment. Okay, it may be necessary to pay extra for. So paying extra is our key word here, key idea. So where should we pay extra for? Paying extra, special diet, accommodation. So we go looking for extra pay, and then for bathroom, boat tickets, additional luggage, or entertainment. So here there is nothing within the headings. So we have to go looking for paying extra. We have to scan for that information. The supplementary charge, that is extra, right, will be added to your account. So we found this information. Now, what is it? Will include all this and will be indicated on the coach break page. Other coach breaks have a limited number of room with private facilities. So private facilities, what do you think private facilities are? A bathroom, I think, right? Single rooms. When a single room is available, there are only a limited number of single rooms. When a single room is available, it may be subjected to a supplementary charge and it will be shown on the brochure. So what do you think is an answer here?
Probably bathroom only
Yeah.
because the other three make no sense with a
Yes.
single room.
Yes, I agree too, but we'll look at the answer later. If you look at the next one, entertainment, can you do 13 and 14 by yourself? Otherwise, it'll be a waste of, it'll be more of me talking and less of you working. Can you try and do 13 and 14 by yourself?
Right now or later?
Right now, what do you think?
Okay.
It won't take more than 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'll just time you off for 2 minutes. So let me put this here next to this. Okay. Can you see it completely? So 13 and 14, and this is your section. Mira has written 13 is B, 14 is B. Okay. Chetan has also written it. Just waiting for you, Rajesh. Take your time. No pressure. Deepthi, are you there? Rajesh. Rajesh? Is he there? Yeah, he is. Rajesh? I think he's. So this is the answer. C, D, C, A, B, B. So the first one was C, B, then what was the next one? C for the next one as well, for special diet as well as C. And then the next answer for 12, it may be necessary for, I think 12 is A, bathroom was right. 13 and 14, both are B. Entertainment is available at, if there's a demand, and 14 is also B. So let's look at the next section. So this is matching information. So give me a minute while I think I didn't copy the instructions properly. Pick it up from the question. So this was the test which we were doing. So section 2 is what we're going to do now. Section reading part 2. So this was the instruction that is given. Questions 15 to 21. We have to write the appropriate letter A to G in the boxes in our answer sheet. So our answers has to be in the form of alphabets A to G. So our answer has to be in the form of A to G in our answer sheet. We can use the letter A to G more than once. So there will be more than once we can use the answer. So if you look at the first one, you wish to go swimming at 7 a.m. every morning. So this passage has also headings, but I don't think there's any heading when that you can compare with the answers here, answer sentences or the question sentences here. So I think we have to go scanning for the information. So if you go here, you wish to go swimming at 7 a.m. every morning. So our keywords are swimming and the time, 7 a.m. every morning. So the answer given here is G. If we go looking for G, it says no membership fees, coffee shop is open for all meals, the swimming pool is open at 6 a.m. So if it was PM, maybe they would have written it as 1800. So we would know it's not AM. Next one, you would like to take Spanish classes. So our keyword is Spanish classes. Now we're going only to scan for this information throughout. So Spanish classes is our keyword that we are scanning for. So facilities include, there is language courses over here, if you can see. Anywhere else where you found Spanish? So I think the answer is E. Let's look at the answers though for 15 to 21. 15 is E because it's talking about language classes, language courses. So can you try and do from questions 16 to 21 by yourselves? Or do you want us to do it together?
We'll do it. We'll do it.
We can try to do it, yeah.
Okay, so from 16 to 21, that's 5 questions. So look at your key sentences, underline your keywords, and go scanning. Okay, scanning is looking for that particular detail. So I'll time you again for 5 minutes. Your time starts now. Rajesh, are you there? I think he's working or something. No problem. Guys, your time's up. Have you? Okay. Ira has done it. Guys. Shall we discuss the answer? You want 2 more minutes?
Yes, please, 2 more minutes.
Okay. Ira, take a break, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Not in the last half, maybe the last quarter. So the first one we saw Spanish classes. It was because of these language. The next one, you want to join a club that has international branches. Oh, good job, Jitin. So international branches is our keyword here. So where did you locate it? Ira says 16 as D, and Jitin also says 16 as D. So in D, there are branches around the world. So that's international branches. The next one, you would like to take like an opportunity to speak in public. For 17, both of you agree that it is A. So A, public speaking, open to overseas excursions, learn talks, open discussion meetings, learn talks, excursions, open to overseas visitors. So maybe that's the only one where they're talking about discussion and talks. Maybe that's why you chose A. Then for 18, you would like to take part in amateur theatrical productions. 18 is E, and Jitin says it's C. So the answer for 18 is E. So Ira says it's E and Jitin said it's C. So E. If you look at it, because it's talking about theater here, fitness, testing, and other activities, squash, exercises. Okay, there's drama over here. That's why you chose E. And why did you choose C?
I think he chose because of the concerts and
Theaters.
theaters because I
Theaters.
was
Visit
confused
to
as well.
theaters.
Yeah.
But that says like visit to theaters and E says like maybe.
Amateur theatrical productions. So maybe it's some kind of a classes, drama or theater.
Yeah.
So the next one, you want to visit some famous sites with a group of other students. So 19, both of you have written A, which is correct. Then 20, you're interested in finding out about part-time work. 20, both of you have written B because it's talking about work placement and then databases of jobs and all that. Then you want to meet some English people who have started their careers. 21, both of you have written F. English people, most members are young English professionals, so you can visit this to meet them. Okay, that's the right answer. So Jitin, you okay, that theater was meant for classes, so it's not, the other theater is like a movie theater. And theatrical productions, they mean maybe classes, drama classes or theater as in classes. So this is a true, false, not given kind of a sentence where you read the sentence, underline the keywords, and then go looking if it's true or false. So this is a bit of a hassle for many students, unlike the other questions that we did so far. So the other questions that we did so far, except for the multiple choice questions in other sections. In section 1, if you find multiple choice questions, they are quite easy. But from section 2 onwards, when you see multiple choices, they tend to be a bit tricky. So true, false, not given is one of the trickiest question types of reading, which many students find it a bit tricky to decipher between false and not given, or to differentiate between false and not given. True, if the statement is completely agreeing with the given passage. False, if the statement is contradicting to the given information in the passage. Not given, if it's neither true nor false, then the answer is not given. So true, it has to 100% comply with it, agree with it. False, it should contradict it. It shouldn't agree. It should contradict it. Or the information should not be 100% true. It should contradict. Not given, if it's neither true nor false, not given. It's a time-consuming question. Don't dwell on it. If you can't find the answer in a minute and a half or so, choose the not the third option. Choose not given, okay, as the answer. Not given as your answer. Right, not given. So this can appear in two forms: yes, no, not given, true, false, not given. There are two forms to this question. So first we read the statement, underline our keywords, go back to the passage and try to see if the information is complying with the given information or not, if the sentence is complying or agreeing with the given information or not. The club has long-term dormitory accommodation. Long-term is our keyword, dormitory is our keyword, accommodation. Long-term, maybe for a long period, long duration, long lease, can be rented for a long term. Dormitory accommodation, dormitory means that there are people, so it could be hostel or something like that. Or accommodation could be residence, residing, and things like that. That might how it might be viewed here. So we go looking for it. If you are a fast reader, for this question, I suggest skimming first and then reading the question. But if you're not a very fast reader, then just go scanning for the answer or skim through while finding the answer. Long-term dormitory accommodation. So we found accommodation was over here. So Unique Club Accommodation Center, it's located in the heart of this, close to all public transport. Comfortable accommodation for all these people, multi-bedding, long and short stays are welcome. So it has long-term dormitory accommodation. Yes, it does, because long and short stays are welcome. So the answer here is true. If you look at the way that they have written it, this club is for overseas students only. So this is something called qualifier: only, most, just, all, more, majority. All these are called qualifiers or qualifying words. They change the meaning. So only means what? It's exclusive only for these people. So it's excluding other people. Only overseas students can live here. So if you go here, accommodation center for British and overseas students. So that's why the answer given here is false. Is this clear?
Yes.
So if you look at the next one, membership must be renewed monthly. Renewed is our keyword, membership is our keyword, and the qualifying word here is monthly. How frequently? Every month. So we go looking for membership. Okay, it is here. Membership costs. Join entitles you. Okay, where is renewing? You can join for as little as 1 month to up to 1 year. Entitles you to use all this. Advantage of special membership offers. So what do you think this one is? Membership must be renewed monthly?
False.
False.
False. It can be done yearly or monthly.
Monthly or yearly. So that was 23, right? 23, the answer is false. Okay. Can you try and do it from 24 onwards by yourselves?
Sure.
Yeah.
So give yourself not more than a minute and a half for each of this, okay? If you can, try and solve a lot of academic questions for true, false, not given. Such questions has to be done for academic reading so that all this for your GT will look like child's play. It'll be so easy for you. So I'll time you off for 5 minutes, and then if you need more time, I'll give you more time. So I'm pausing recording and timing you for 5 minutes. Okay, so 21 is, okay, 22 is true. 22 is true. Both of you have written as 23 is false. 23, I think we had already discussed, that's why Ira is not written. Okay, 23 is false. 24 is not given, and not given. All the three of you have got it right. 25 is true. All the three of you has got it. 26 is true. 26 is true. Okay, Rajesh has written not given, but the rest of you have got it as true. 27 is not given. 28 is not given. 27, 28. 27, why you've written as true, Jitin? 27 and 28 is not given. 29 is false. So 24, I think 26, I will start this. Okay, STA, travel, helps, finance, student advisor. So that's 26, it's true. So it says, thanks to the support of STA, that we have a student in association with LCOS, International Students House now provides the service of an international student advisor. So thanks to the support, that means it's financial. So they are helping them out, or they are paying them. So that's why they are helping financing the student advisor. Then 27, the services of the student advisor are free to all club members. So this new welfare are free. So that is 27. Nothing about payment is given. So it's open to all students, or all students at London's bona fide academic institution. So nothing about payment is given. So the answer is not given. 28, you must make an appointment to see the student advisor. We just know the timing, which is from 8 p.m. onwards until about 8 p.m. Monday to Thursday. So nothing is given about making an appointment or not. And then 29 is false. So the time is 3:19. Shall we start off with speaking? Can you do the rest of it as homework, the last section? And shall we do a bit of speaking?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Jitin had attempted speaking, so it's not a big thing for him. So I'll just post this in so that you guys can take the other one as homework. Okay. Have you all got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Stop sharing this and I'll pull out my speaking strategies. Please give me a minute again. Close this. While I bring out my speaking strategies. Well, speaking is for a total of just about 15 minutes, nothing more than that. And there are 3 sections in your speaking. Section 1 is just going to be short questions, short answers and all that. So let me pull out the band description first. Okay. So since all of you are aiming at band 7 and higher, let's look at what are the factors that they require. So it's very important that for your speaking and writing, that you look at what the examiner desires of you. What do they want you to do to get your band 7, and just give them that. So you're marked for these 4 factors: fluency and coherence, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy, pronunciation. So fluency is how you can speak without a long or without multiple breaks in between. So how fluently you can speak is speak without pausing in between. So though you can pause to breathe, pause to think maybe for a few seconds, if you if you pause to think and collect your thoughts and speak at length, if you keep doing it over and over, then it brings down your fluency. So when he talks about fluency, that means speaking for the entire duration of time with minimum breaks to think. You can pause to breathe and all that, or pause if you're having hiccups or you want to swallow, you can do all that. That doesn't affect your fluency. So here fluency is you're pausing just to collect your thoughts. You're pausing because you're at a loss for words. That's called fluency. So for you to get 7, you should try so that try and speak in such a way that there are minimum breaks or minimum pauses for you to gather your thoughts. Then you're allowed to make mistakes and correct yourself. You're allowed to go back and correct yourselves. About 3 to 4 corrections are allowed in each section. So I'm not telling every sentence you go back and correct yourself. But if you feel that you've made an error, if you feel that you should have spoken in another way, you can always go back and correct yourself. That's actually allowed for your band 7. So that shows that you realize your mistake and you can correct yourself. That demonstrates a high level of speech. And then the next one is coherence. Coherence means it's the progression of your thoughts, how you place your ideas. Your ideas shouldn't be scattered all over the place. There should be a kind of a sequence or a kind of a logical arrangement of your ideas, or a logical organization of your idea, or a progression. It should progress from one thought to the other. So don't worry if you're a good storyteller or not. It's not like that. It's that they want you to complete one thought and then progress to the next thought. It doesn't matter how you arrange it, because you're not looking at your storytelling capacity here, but it's only about if you can complete a topic and then move on to the next one. So it just shows a progression of your thoughts. It shouldn't be scattered all over the place. And then your discourse markers play a big role here. So just now I told you, and then, so that is a discourse marker. You're connecting one idea to the other idea. So they can be your conjunctions. Your and, or, and but is a must. Okay, they mark you for that. The second thing that they look is to help you progress your thoughts. Your linking words matter a lot. So your discourse markers, like in the beginning, let me start off with, to begin with, to clarify, or when you're expressing yourself, connecting it, then you use your discourse markers. One way to make sure that you've used it is start every alternate sentence, or after every 2 sentences, start it off with a linking word. Okay, so you are fulfilling that condition and you're doing it for sure. For example, if the speaker is asking you to speak about maybe your hobby, and you're telling that you love to read books, so, and you're talking about books, imagine I'm talking about Harry Potter. So if I'm telling, although non-fiction seems to be a good idea, did you see how I started? I started with although. So, or if I say, first of all, let me start off by telling my love for books. So what I'm doing is I'm intentionally putting a discourse marker, because for my band 7, it is very important that I use it. And one way to make sure that I'm using it is by using it right in the beginning. Okay, so you'll be displaying both your passive voice. Okay, you'll be displaying a different change of voice, and you'll also be intentionally using your discourse marker. So while you're speaking, even when you speak, see that you start every alternate sentence, every 2 sentences. I'm not telling one sentence like this, every alternate sentence so strictly, but see that you at least use 2-3 sentences that starts with your discourse markers. So you could say, although is one way to start. Firstly, let me put it this way, while I clarify myself, to make myself clear, to add on to the previous thought, or to continue with my previous thought. All these are discourse markers. They are to link your ideas, or they show that you can link your ideas together. Are you guys able to understand me?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how you get your band 7 for your fluency coherence. So when you start off with your section 1, that's when he knows that he marks you at 7, and then he moves higher. Jitan, I know you know all this because you were there previously, but these guys were not. So I'll just give a brief introduction of this, and I'll not drag it for long, and then we'll start off with speaking. Ira, any doubt?
No, all good for now.
Okay. If you look at the next one for your band 7, it's lexical resource. Lexical means it's always your vocabulary. So what does he need? He wants us to use a flexibility of vocabulary. Here you should understand that different forms of the words, like in the past, present, past participle form of words are very important here. That you use it situational based. You don't use the same vocabulary. A very important thing to remember. Give me a minute. Okay. A very important thing to remember is to not repeat the same word as in the question. So if he's asking you to talk about your hobbies, you wouldn't say, my hobbies are so and so. Instead, you would say, in my free time, or my area of interest is, while I'm not working, or during the rare periods when I'm not busy, or during the rare periods of time when my work is not catching up with me, or when I'm not chasing my work, I would like to. Or when I have a bit of me time, I like to. Do you know what I'm trying to say? See that you never ever use the same vocabulary as in the question. So that is quite important here. And see that you use idioms. Okay, these two has to be intentional. Lexical resources, idioms, idiomatic language has to be intentional. I don't know if I've shared any idiomatic language list of it with you. So you could use words like it's not my cup of tea, or you could use words like phrasal verbs and idioms. These two are very, very important for you. Okay, so it's phrasal verbs. For example, you was telling, if he's asking you to describe a journey, and you, instead of telling I started towards this place here, you would say I set out, I embarked on this, I set out on this. So all those words are situation based. All those are topic based vocabulary. That's what is important here, that you used it. So if he's talking about tourism, about journey, what would you say instead of starting off? You would say embarking on a journey. I began my adventure. I started off my adventure at this place. So you would use all your topic centered vocabulary. Then that's how you get your lexicals, and then you don't use the same words over and over. That's very important. And you paraphrase effectively. Paraphrasing is just what I told you, not using the question word. Keywords in the question should never be used again. Guys, if you're making points, make points, okay, for this one. Then the next one is GRA, which is your grammar range and accuracy. So like I told you, here, what he's checking for band 7 is if you're able to speak in the present, past, and future tense. That's one big criteria. The second big criteria for you to achieve your grammar range and accuracy is active and passive voice. So you've already achieved your passive voice when you use when you start every other sentence with a discourse marker. To add to that, to be clear, clarifying that you're already using your passive voice. So you don't worry about active and passive voice as much because you're already using this. But see that you speak in the past, present, and in the future tense. Clear so far? That's how you get your grammar range and accuracy. Any doubts? So don't be too purposeful here because it'll divert your attention. So if you keep looking at your sentence and trying to wonder, am I talking in the passive voice? Am I talking in the active voice? Am I using this voice? So that'll divert your attention to a big extent. So always remember, you will be achieving your passive voices as long as you keep on remembering, okay, I have to start with the discourse marker, you're achieving both of these. Okay, for your grammar range and accuracy, another thing is you speak in something in the past, in the present, and in the future. That's all. Don't worry too much about this. Then the last criteria that you're being marked for is your pronunciation. So if you're from the Indian subcontinent, if you're someone like me, the biggest thing or the biggest hindrance to our pronunciation is we tend to speak with our mouths closed because our languages are like that. So always try to open up your mouth wider when you're speaking so that you're nice and clear. Number one. Second thing, go nice and slow. You shouldn't be rushing because most of the time you're dealing with a native speaker who might find it hard to follow our accent. So you go nice and slow and always clarify. Okay, so always clarify. Okay, any doubts so far? So if you look at it, you should show both band 6 and band 8. If you look at band 6, what are they telling? Uses a range of pronunciation features. So if you just for you to understand, I'll just give you the common sounds in English. Do you know there are about 42 basic sounds of English? So these are called phonemes, phonematic chart. This is a good way to learn. So you'll find interactive charts. Okay, the major, are, Ira, you're from India, right? Ira?
Yeah, I'm from India.
So since all of us are from India, our major pronunciation area is in the D language, I mean the D sound. So we've got very strong R and T sounds. So our Ds, Rs and Ts tend to be stronger. So this is one of our pronunciation area where we struggle. And another area is our TH sounds are strong. So this comes with an urge to express ourselves very clearly. What we do is we tend to make our consonant sounds, these D, T, and R sounds to be very strong. And we also make our TH sounds to be very strong. For example, we say think, we say through, throat. So we tend to make our TH sounds really strong, whereas those sounds should be softer. So it should be through, it should be think. So it should be very soft. So once we soften our D's, T's, and R's and TH sounds, I think we are pretty much okay. So our accents are very easily understood. So we do not have a pronunciation problem as in such. So don't worry too much about it. But if you really feel, okay, my pronunciation is not good and no one can understand me, then I think a good place to start is this phonemic chart, where you understand different sounds of English and how to produce these sounds. What are the vowel sounds? What are the consonant sounds? And how am I producing it? And how is it actually supposed to be pronounced? Okay, so don't worry too much about your pronunciation. So mispronunciation of a few words is allowed. For example, words like academic, right? So because we're from the Indian subcontinent, what do we call it? You must have heard us, many of us say academic, right? So it's actually academic. So that's a mispronunciation. All those kinds of words can be, and another commonly mispronounced word is like determined. I've seen students who say determine, determined. So that's a mispronunciation. Another one is DICI PHER. That's decipher. You know, I recently learned it's decipher. I used to call it decipher. So there's those kind of mispronunciations are allowed. Okay, so there is a margin for that. They won't mark you down for every single word that you mispronounce. Any doubts with this? Are you clear with this?
Yeah, all good, all good. Thank you.
Okay, so that's all for your band 7. This is all the 4 things that you're looking at. Try to speak without breaks. Okay, so 3 things that I'll tell you before we start off. First thing, what if the topic that he's asking you is very unfamiliar? You're not familiar with it. He's asking you about baseball and you have no clue what on earth. You just know it has a bat and a ball, and that's all you know about it. You can always tell the examiner, because they're not looking at your knowledge here, they're looking at your speech. So you can always tell the examiner, I'm sorry, my area of interest does not, or my knowledge or my area of interest is very limited. My knowledge in this subject is very limited, but my area of interest, or I'm very much interested in another similar thing. For example, I don't know a clue. I don't know anything about baseball. I really don't know anything about baseball, but I do know chess. Okay, so you would say my area of interest lies in soccer or in chess, or I love indoor sports like this. Okay, so something related to, because you know that he's looking at you or he's asking you about sport, so something related to that. So he'll change the topic for you, or he'll ask you similar kind of a question. Is this clear? What if you don't understand the meaning of the question that you're reading? So he'll give you a cue card in section 2. And if you're not able to understand what is written there, you can always clarify. You could ask like this, just to clarify clearly, or just to make things clearer, is this what it's supposed to be? So you don't ask him what is this, instead, or her, what is this? You would say, just to be more clear, just to clarify, am I supposed to understand it like this? Or is my understanding right? Am I right in understanding it like this? Okay. And what else? Always answer it in 2 sentences. Okay, at least 2 sentences for each topic. Each bullet point has to be addressed, whatever he's asking. Then always listen to the tenses. If he's asking you a question in the past, try your best to answer it in the past. Okay, always note as to what tone or what tense the question is in so that you can deliver it in the same tense. And okay, what if you get stuck while speaking? You're suddenly you're frozen. It happens to me a lot of time. You might either go blank or you might brain freeze. So what you do is you can don't lose your cool or don't be nervous. Instead, you can just tell the examiner, allow me a minute or allow me a moment to collect my thoughts. Allow me a moment, please, while I collect my thoughts. So throughout your test, you can do that one time. Any other doubts? Any doubts, anybody? Can we start off?
Yeah.
Okay. So it has 3 sections. Like, is there anybody who doesn't know the basics of it?
I don't know anything about speaking.
Okay.
Haven't attempted it yet.
Okay, all right. So speaking has only 3 sections. Let me pull out the presentation. Okay. I thought it was an empty presentation for a moment. I ask myself often, how can I be so organized? Okay, I surprise myself. Okay, so this is your band descriptor. So you'll be having 3 parts. Each part is for about 3-4 minutes. Okay, maximum of 4 minutes, or maybe sometimes 5, but depends on you. Your job is not to make the examiner comfortable. So your job is just to establish a rapport. See that you have a rapport established so that speaking comes naturally to you. So for you to understand or for you to be comfortable, it is the examiner's role as well. It's the examiner's responsibility as well to make you comfortable enough to speak. Okay, so it's not your job alone to establish that relationship, but it is his duty as well. It comes in his job scope as well to establish a rapport with the candidate. Okay, then don't expect him to always look at you. He might be looking down, writing things. Okay, while he's writing, if you see a number written, okay, you might see 5 or 4, and you'll be like, what is he awarding me band for? No, he's not. He's probably noting down the time. Okay, so don't look at a number and think, okay, that's my band. That's a big common mistake. I've seen many students who come and tell me, okay, I saw a number written, I think I've got this band. No, he just probably is writing the time. Okay, he won't write the number like that for you to see. Then in section 1, you will be asked basic questions about your day-to-day life and scenarios. So he would ask you, tell me about yourself. That's a very common question. He would ask you, how did you arrive here? How did you come here? And then he would change, then he would elaborate on that. So 2-3 points about whatever he's asking. Subject verb agreement, pay attention to this. All of you are okay with subject verb. You understand what I mean by subject verb agreement, right?
Yeah.
No.
So subject verb, okay, it's a very, it sounds fancy, but it's, you will know what I'm talking about. So when you say, he might ask you, what are your hobbies? Imagine that's your question. What are your hobbies? What are? So the subject here is, are is the verb, hobbies is the subject. What are your hobbies? So, because it's hobbies, because your subject is in the plural form, your verb are, it is not is. So the subject and the verb has to agree with each other. So if I say Jitin loves to read, okay, because Jitin is the subject, it's singular. Your verb loves, it's in the plural form or it's in the S form. Because the subject is singular, your verb is always in the S form. So you always make sure that your subject and verb are agreeing. So in other words, you must have seen, I always falter. I might say this and this is good for me. So I might say, I I'll say soup and water is good for me instead of are good for me, because I'm adding two things, but I won't use the verb are. So see that you make sure that you don't falter here too much. Okay, then avoid fumbling. Avoid so instead of that you could use words like well, as I was telling, well. So that is a very good way to avoid like even I do. Then transitional words are words like firstly, secondly, however, to add to what I was telling and all that. Those are your transitional words. Then discourse markers, we spoke about it. Okay. That's your section 1. You'll be asked about 6 to 10 questions, short questions. So depending on the length of your answer, he might limit it to 5 or 6 questions, or he might ask you 8 to 10 questions. Is this clear? This will be about 3-4 minutes. Very common topics. Then after that, you'll be transitioning into section 2. So section 1 is your warm-up round. Here is where he starts off with your band. He'll mark your band here and then mark you up from here. In section 2, you're given a card, a cue card with a question there, and you're supposed to describe whatever is there. So your job is, usually there's going to be 3 bullet points. See that you put your thoughts in, that you address all the 3 bullet points, and that you put your thoughts in thought clouds, and you put an arrow. So in the clockwise direction, there was somewhere where I had written, but I can't find it. Okay, I found it. So I don't have to write it again. This is from the last time. Can you see my thought clouds? So you write your cloud, even though you don't have the time to draw in your, you'll be given a cue card. You're given 1 minute to prepare your speech. So in your 1 minute, you can arrange your thoughts like this in clockwise direction. So you know, okay, I should finish this topic first and then progress to the next one. I should finish this and then only the next one. So I complete this and I do this. Okay, so you make your thoughts, even if you don't draw the clouds, that's okay. But see that you make the arrows in clockwise direction so that you know, okay, after this, this, after this, this. Okay, so you make your ideas like this and you talk about it in past, present, and in future. Talk a little bit in the past tense, a little bit in the present, a little bit in the future tense. That'll help you. Okay, and see that you use. So he might be asking you in your cue card, can you think of a memory that made you happy? Or he might ask you, can you tell me what is your first job interview like? Who did you face? What was the job for? What did you feel during the interview? Did you get the job or something like that? So you would start, when I think of the time, or when my first interview was, or instead of interview, you would say, when I first applied for a job, I was called in for a discussion by this interview. I was called in for a discussion by this company. I remember I was nervous. My hands were clammy. My hands were sweaty. I was nervous. But the interviewer was a gentleman. He made me quite comfortable. When I think of it now, I remember that I have a lot of lessons that I had learned from. The second point, so you answered what you felt like, what job that was for. And then the next one was, did you get the job? So when I think of it, so even though, so you're putting although, or though I did not get the job, I should say that I've learned several lessons or several wonderful lessons from that interview, which I can use in my future. So you're using all the 3 tenses. Is this clear? Then your hand movement is allowed. That's all I think. So use this actually. So interestingly, all these can be your cohesive devices. Then write your thoughts in thought clouds and in clockwise direction. That'll really help you. I know it sounds silly, but it'll help you. In section 3, this is your last section. He will elaborate on this. So each section speak about 2 sentences. Okay. So we'll do this quickly. Maybe we'll just do section 1. And then tomorrow we'll do section 2 and 3 after task 1. So let me pull out my questions.
I just wanted to ask one thing.
Yeah.
So in the cue card question, how many minutes or how many sentences are we supposed to speak? about the person, thing, or situation
For,
question?
for each bullet point, I suggest you speak at least 2 sentences per bullet point.
Okay.
And always remember that you speak in all the 3 tenses.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Okie doke. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to time you up. I'm going to complete part 1 for all the 3 of you. And if the time permits me, then we'll go for part 2. Is this okay? All right. So the first person that I'll call is Rajesh. Jitin, you'll be in the last, okay? Stop sharing. We'll pretend this is our interview. So when you go, he's going to ask you for your identification. And you'll please carry your passport. Please pack your bags, your IELTS bag, your test date bags before you go. Carry your passport. He's going to ask you for your passport, or she's going to ask you for your passport for your identification. And you would say, okay, here's my passport. They would ask you what your full name is. And you would say, my full name is this. Please call me as this. And then we'll start off. Okay, so we'll just pretend this is a test. Or if you've got doubts in between, let me know. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, doke. Wait, let me stop sharing. Oh my god, am I sharing my screen? No, right?
No.
Okay. All right. Hello, Rajesh. Okay, wait, let me time you. Okay. Hello, my name is Ruth, and I'm going to be your speaking examiner for today. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much. And this is Rajesh Kumar Venugopal.
Okay.
And here is my documents.
All right. Thank you, Rajesh. And how would you like to be addressed?
You can call me as Rajesh or Raj. Anything will do.
Okay. All right. So we're now entering into, or we're commencing part 1 of your speaking test, where I'll be asking you a few short questions, and do your best, okay?
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah.
Okay. Rajesh, how did you come in here today?
So, firstly, like I got up at 7 o'clock, and initial plan was to take a public transport, and then I realized like it will be slight. It will be like, sorry, I will not able to come on time. So I thought like, okay, let me take my uh, car, and I came here, and there was a parking lot right next to our office, and I parked there, and from there I just walked for 5 minutes, and I reached here.
Okay. Thanks, Rajesh. So what's the public transport like in your town?
Usually, we have both, roadways and railway connectivity, and but like if you look at the cost wise, the train fares are less actually, like compared to the bus fares, and the frequency. If you see, like the trains are very good, and there will not be much traffic as well. So I usually prefer to travel in train.
Okay. And do you think people should use public transport more? Why or why not?
So yeah, if you ask me, like, yeah, I will go with public transport because, see, using public transport will save, uh, save a cost actually, because like if I mean for me to get a, travel pass for 1 month will not cost much. Like if I use my own transport, own car or bike, I will be spending more in India. So if if I'm a frequent traveler, I can get a pass or something like that, and I can travel in public transport. And secondly, if I'm going alone, I can. It's not that effective to use my car. So going into a train or like using a bus will be good in terms of traffic and fuel emission as well. So if you ask me, I always prefer public transport. But like if you are not that much frequent traveler, like if you are traveling once a week or like thrice a week or something like that, then it's better to use our own transport, because like getting a pass for one time travel or two time travel is not that worth. Like it depends on the frequency of travel.
Okay. Thank you, Rajesh. Rajesh, you spoke for more than 3 minutes, so you elaborated a lot for the last point. So don't need not elaborate that much. Okay. So the first thing is avoid telling yeah, yeah, yeah. You used yeah a lot. Okay. So avoid telling yeah. Avoid telling like. Okay, like this could be like. So most of us Indians have that like. So avoid yeah and like. Okay.
Okay.
So it comes from these American shows, like it comes from them, from the American TV shows. Thing is, it's not the right way to express yourself. So yeah, and like avoid it. And then, what could be your vocabulary? How did you come in here today? So you need not start off with waking up. So you the next sentence that you started off with, initially the plan was, you can start off like that. So initially, or the my first plan was, or the my plan A was to take the public transport in here. Unfortunately, or I had to take my car as I woke up late. So you don't have to start up with today morning I woke up. So it's not, so you're dealing with a question first and then you're elaborating on it. Always deal with the question first. So you're fulfilling the criteria and only then elaborate if you want to.
Okay.
Then, what is public transport like in your town? You spoke about that quite well, but you could use terms like modes of transport. Always for transport, always use modes of transport. Okay.
Okay.
And then compare the modes of transport that you can speak about it. Tell, unlike other cities of India, in my hometown, the most popular mode of transport are the road, are through the roads, are via roads. So we have both trains and buses. So what you're telling is, you know your vocabulary, you know how to compare. Okay. So what are the four modes of transport? Road is a mode of transport, water or sea or through water is a mode of transport, air is a mode of transport. So these are the three modes of transport. So you say, unlike other cities of India, in my hometown, the most popular mode of transport is through road, and the bus and trains are the most popular use of transport. Where I personally, or my personal favorite, I personally prefer traveling in trains because it fares less, or the fares are less. You said trains fares? No, train fares, bus fares, no plural. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Then yeah, you spoke about yeah, no using yeah. Then it saves cost, it's less expensive. Always when you talk about public transport, instead of always fares and expenses, you can add that, but also add it's less hazardous to the environment, less harmful for the environment and all that. Okay, and then do you think people should use public transport more? Here you again spoke from personal example, which is okay. But you could say yes, people should opt or choose to take public transport as it is less impactful toward the environment, or the harmful impacts to the environment is lesser. So the key is to try and look at all your part one questions, common questions, and try to understand answers. Try to make your own answers and record yourself. See if you're using correct discourse markers.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Always record and listen to yourself. That'll help you. So we'll go on with Ira. Ira, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So you saw how Rajesh handled it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just marking you. I'll time you off for 3 minutes and I'm going to
Okay.
ask you short questions. Okay, we're going to pretend this is a test.
Right.
All right. Hello, Ira. My name is Ruth, and I'm going to be your speaking examiner for today.
Hi, my name is Ira Durve, and you can call me Ira.
Okay. And what form of identification do you have today?
So I have my passport with me, so here are the documents.
All right. Thank you very much. So we're commencing part 1 of our speaking, where I'm going to ask you short questions,
Okay.
and do your best, okay?
Thank you.
All right. So, Ira, do you enjoy reading, and why?
I do enjoy reading, and I basically enjoy non-fictional books. Although I do read fictional sometimes as well. So whenever I am not working or in my free time, I find some time for myself to do reading and to do reading. So one of my favorite author is Sudha Murthy. I have read all her books. So her epic story is the Mahashweta, which is one of the most famous books of her collection. And it speaks about a woman who struggles through her life, like her everyday life, and how she achieves her goals. So I think that book inspires me a lot, and that would be my favorite book.
Okay. All right. What sort of things do you read? You already answered that. You said the third question as well. Tell me something about your favorite book. Can you see my screen or what?
No.
Okay. What are the advantages of reading instead of watching television or going to the cinema?
I think reading helps you to connect with yourself a little bit more. You find peace, and while watching TV, you do not understand where your time passes by, or your screen time is just more scrolling through your phone. But the advantages of reading is, first of all, your vocabulary increases. You understand people's perspectives, and it's very nice to. It feels like you're connecting with someone. You're leaving someone's life through them, like through their eyes, and I think that's the most best part of reading.
Okay. All right. You spoke for more. You spoke for almost 3 minutes. So I just asked you 2 long questions. I mean, though they were short questions, I asked you 2 long questions. You spoke for about 3 minutes. So for the first one, you actually answered all the questions. So do you enjoy reading? You could use collocations. You're aware of collocations, right?
Like, what are examples of
So
collocations?
collocations are words that are used close to each other. For example, when you're reading, so what do you think of? A person who loves book lover, bookworm,
Right.
avid reader.
Mm-hmm.
Then what else? I enjoy books. So instead of just telling reading, because you're repeating the same vocabulary again and again, right? So you had no problem with your structure of your sentence. You were able to express yourself quite well, which is good. But for you to just avoid the same thing, you could say, I'm an avid reader. I do enjoy books, or I am, or you could say, books take or books take a major part of my free time, or I devote a lot of my free time to books. So instead of reading, you're just focusing on books. You spoke about the different genre, which is well done. You spoke about fiction and non-fiction. And then you also spoke about, are you by any chance a Kannadiga?
No, I'm from Maharashtra.
You're from Maharashtra.
But I love Sudha Murthy.
Okay, so you spoke about Sudha Murthy, and I was like, oh, okay. All right. So you said, you said that your favorite author is Sudha Murthy. You could elaborate a little bit about her.
Right.
Or how you came across this book, or who introduced this book to you. And then it's non-fictional. It talks about a woman who struggles or who trudges. You could use words like that. So always use collocation. I think for you, if you just use a bit of collocations, you'll get a higher band. That'll help you. Your sentence structure was fine. There was a small error in your grammar with your subject verb and agreement, where you said one of the advantages is.
Oh, right.
The advantages are of books are you live, or you can use idioms like you step in someone else's shoes. It gives you another perspective. It gives you an added advantage of seeing things from someone else's perspective and all that. I know it's your first time, but I'm just giving you the situational based vocabulary so that you can use it for different topics.
So I just had a question. So for example, if she's asking like if you're asking me about a topic which I know like little bit about, like I can answer the first question, but I want to change the topic. Like I don't want you to go further into detail. Is there any way I can like
No.
no?
So unless you're stuck, don't use that.
Okay.
Okay. Unless you're like you don't know to move ahead, don't even use that. But if you
Okay.
can answer it to 30-40%, just go on. They're not
Okay.
checking your knowledge. Okay, but if you have zero knowledge, suppose he's asking about Madame Tussauds Museum and you're like, I know the name, but I don't know anything else about it.
Mhm.
You have no idea, right? And then just say, I'm sorry, though I'm familiar with the term, or don't say I'm sorry, or my area of interest lies in history or something else more
Okay.
than this or something.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you're stuck, don't use it. Okay.
Okay. Because now it was like I could speak on it, but I was like blank when you asked me about like on the second question. I was like, oh, so if I could
But you
divert it
answered,
somewhere else, it could
yeah.
be better maybe.
But you answered it quite well. You said instead of scrolling through the phone, you used the collocation scrolling. You could have used screen time. Television is often called the idiot box, or reading gives you more scope for the imagination and all that. So the key to prepare for your speaking is to look at the most commonly topic. Look at 30-40 topics which come in recently, and always prepare your speech for part 1. Go to Google, part 1 speaking questions. Look at all the commonly repeated questions and make your own answer for that.
Okay.
And when you're
Thank you.
speaking, record it. That'll help you. Jitin, are you ready?
I am ready, but if that is fine, it's already more than 4, above 4. So that is fine with you.
Okay, I'll just finish with you quickly and then I'll run. Okay. Are you okay? So Jitin, I'll not do the formalities with you. I'll just ask you the short questions. Okay. Okay. I'll ask you the same thing that I asked Rajesh, just to see how you'll address it. Jitin, how did you come in here today?
Though my original plan was to use my personal transport, but at the end moment, my roommate said that he requires my scooter because of an urgency. So I had to change my plan and I instead used the public transit system.
Okay. Do you think people should use public transport more? Why or why not?
Definitely, I think that the public should use public transport. One, because they are cheaper and they have been made by the government so that the climate change can be coped with. If everyone is using their own transport, and usually what happens, just one guy is sitting in a car of 5 people, so it it adversely affects our climate. So if people can use public transport more often than not, then I'll say it would be much better, not just for us, but also for our coming generations.
Okay. So the only, so you were pretty good. You were nice and slow, which is good on you. Only one thing in the, you said end minute. End minute is not a collocation. Last minute, or at the nth moment. Then what else was there? Then your sentence structure was good. You used the right tense. Okay, coming generation without S.
Coming? Oh, really?
Yeah,
You don't say coming generations?
no. It's there's a two different meaning, generation and generations. So for the coming generation, it would be advantageous, or it would be more helpful. Okay, ladies and the gentlemen and the only lady. So I'll see you around maybe tomorrow Are you guys? Yeah, you both are in tomorrow, right? Jitin, you're here on Tuesday and Wednesday, right?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask
And
one thing?
yes, yeah.
Is it possible to get the recording? Because I'm not able to attend all the classes, or like I don't know what class I'll be able to attend. Is there
Okay.
any way to get it?
Yeah. So all this is recorded, so that it will be there on YouTube.
Okay.
But I don't know if you can enjoy it. I mean, enjoy it. I mean, it's the same. You so go to CEC, go on YouTube, go to CECA, Sydney. So if you just look at CECA, so I've posted it here. If you just look at CECA, you will go to a singer's channel. But look for CECA Sydney, and then you will see those videos.
Okay.
All right.
I'll try to attend, but like if I can't, it's
Yeah. All right. So hope you learned something today, guys, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.